Yo, what is good, Jets Nation? Welcome back to Jets Media. This is Richie, and we got some interesting stuff to talk about. So there's a rumor that came out this morning from Peter King that the New York Jets are one of the teams interested in edge rusher Bradley Chubb from the Denver Broncos, and they actually are interested potentially in giving up a first-round pick. So in this video, I want to give you guys my thoughts of this rumor. Are the Jets going to pull the trigger? Because the trade deadline is right around the corner. So we will see if the Jets are going to be that aggressive at the deadline. If they feel like Bradley Chubb is not only a piece that can help this team this year, but for the future. Because Bradley Chubb is a young player. And obviously the New York Jets will not trade for Chubb if there's not an extension in place. Because he is a pending free agent after this season. So in this video, I want to give you guys my thoughts of this rumor. Let me know your guys' thoughts. Would you guys want the New York Jets to go out there and get Bradley Chubb from the Denver Broncos? Do you think he's worth giving up a first-round pick? Another team like the Miami Dolphins are potentially interested. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. And of course, do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel if you are indeed new. With that being said, let's get right into the video. So obviously, yesterday's game against the Patriots, I'm not going to really talk about that. I'm going to go live today and really give you my overall thoughts about the Jets and Patriots. But in this one, I want to focus on Bradley Chubb and if this rumor has any weight to it, because we've never seen Joe Douglas trade assets for a player yet. He's been a GM that's been the opposite. He's been trading away players for assets. I mean, we saw something similar where, he traded away a conditional 6th-rounder for James Robinson. That is not a big capital to give up for James Robinson. I love that trade. But according to this report from Peter King, the Jets could be interested in sacrificing a first-round pick for Bradley Chubb. Now, that tells me that if they really want to get Bradley Chubb, they think that he's going to excel in this system, and he's their long-term piece at that edge rusher. Because we know that Carl Lawson, he missed his first year with the New York Jets with the Achilles, and now this season he's having a decent year, and then next year is Carl Lawson's final year on his contract. And if you look at the edge rushers for the Jets, outside of Jermaine Johnson and outside of Michael Clemens on rookie deals, there's not really a long-term solution at the edge rusher. So Bradley Chubb could be the answer for the long run. And he's a young player coming off his rookie deal. He's having a decent season this year. And Bradley Chubb is also has $5 to $7 million left on his deal for this year. But like I said, the Jets would not trade for Bradley Chubb unless there is a contract extension involved, because there's no way the Jets are going to sacrifice giving up that much capital for a one-year rental that can walk in free agency. So there's no way that the Jets are going to do that unless there's a contract extension. So this season for Bradley Chubb, he has 5.5 sacks. His rookie year with the Denver Broncos, he had 12 sacks and was a Pro Bowler in 2020. So this is a player that is ascending. He's a young player that I think has a lot of upside in this league still. And like I said, this is more of a player that Joe Douglas would want to get for the long run. So I feel like I don't see it happening, to be honest. I could be completely wrong. Bradley Chubb is 26 years old, so he is in the prime of his career. But I don't know. When I think of Joe Douglas, I just don't feel like he wants to give up a first-round pick for a player. He'd prefer to build this thing through the draft. But at the same time, the Jets are 5-3, and they do want star talent on this team, and we know that Robert Saleh and Joe Douglas can never get enough defensive linemen. And if we do add Bradley Chubb to this defensive line, all of a sudden this D-line it already is great. I can't even imagine the dimension it could become if they do get Bradley Chubb. When it comes to sacrificing a first-round pick, if you look at the holes on this roster, we desperately need an offensive tackle. I mean, the injuries to this offensive line is detrimental. If you want to look at a fast forward to the draft next year, what is the position that we're going to be looking to get? I would say it's probably offensive line. I mean, I don't know, because there's a lot of room left in the season to really evaluate what's going on with this team. But if the Jets feel like they can get Bradley Chubb for one first-round pick, and they sacrifice that pick in the 2023 draft, and they give him an extension, that is a win-now move, and that is also setting this team up for the future, because they're looking at this team in a long-term perspective, not only in the short term, because that is the biggest thing that I'm taking away from this rumor. Also, Peter King said that this is from a well-plugged-in GM that told him this, and the Miami Dolphins are also interested. So I would take this report with a grain of salt. Just because we have this report does not mean it's 100% factual. It does not mean it's going to happen, but Peter King is very valuable, so he's a reliable source for sure. But when it comes to Bradley Chubb, would you rather just hold on, and if you really want Chubb, and if a team doesn't trade for him, try to get him in free agency so you don't have to give up a first-round pick. I'd prefer that. To be honest, I do not want to sacrifice a first-round pick for a player if you can get him in free agency. But if there are a lot of players, or excuse me, a lot of teams interested in Bradley Chubb right now heading into the trade deadline, then the Jets are going to be aggressive and the Jets are going to try to make a move. So if the Joe Douglas-led New York Jets make this move, this will be the first time we see Joe Douglas giving up significant draft capital for a star player in the NFL. Edge rusher is a big-time, premier position in this league, and we see what this defensive line is doing with Carl Lawson and JFM and Quinnen Williams and all the guys up front, and Jermaine Johnson's been injured the past couple of weeks. So we do not really have a guy, like I said earlier, besides Jermaine Johnson, that's a long-term look at that edge rusher position, unless the Jets want to give Carl Lawson a second deal. So the Jets are really looking for the long-term of this potential move. If I had to guess, I could be completely wrong. I just don't see this happening. I personally do not see Joe Douglas going out there and sacrificing a first-round pick, because we know what Joe Douglas can do with these draft picks in the draft. I mean, the last 2 drafts have been sensational. Obviously, it all really hinders on Zach Wilson, and right now Zach Wilson is struggling. He does not look like the guy at the quarterback position. We'll see how he develops for the rest of the season. But yeah, man, that's really my thoughts of this news. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say down below in the comment section, because I feel like Jets fans will have an interesting perspective on this. Would you want to sacrifice a first-round pick for Bradley Chubb, or would you rather just hold on to those draft picks and build this team through the draft and still try to build this team organically like the Jets have been doing the past couple of years? Or do you want them to be aggressive and go out there and get a player who's one of the top edge rushers in the NFL who's only 26 years old? So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Love to hear what you guys have to say. And hit that like button, subscribe. I'll catch you guys next time. Let's go Jets. Peace out.